Okay, 5 more minutes on multicast and counting. We're talking about IGMP today. Okay. Besides thirds, I've been the IPv4 multicast subject matter expert for some big companies for quite a while. Okay, and it's based on my experience, and I'm not getting paid. So, Internet Group Management Protocol. This refers to IPv4. It's multicast listener discovery if it's v6. Came out with the first version. Talk about the first two versions. We're going to do another 5 minutes on version 3. And we'll see the differences. And with IPv6, they already had learned their lessons, and so built MLD version 1 to be equivalent to IGB version 2. So the versions, they are off by one number. There's the RFC numbers. Okay, let's do this thing. So this is all about forming up the group. So I want to get these messages. So if I'm one of these client machines, I'm going to send this report. And with V1, I'm sending it to the group I want. And a router on the network that's PIM enabled is going to hear that and see that a device wants this multicast traffic. If it has a rendezvous, if it has rendezvous phone or it has that traffic available on another interface, it can start routing that traffic into this segment. And there's this TTL1 because this doesn't make any sense to route. If the router isn't PIM enabled, I don't want this going anywhere. And if it is, it needs to handle it. So, and then the other thing we see is periodically that router. So once it hears a device wants this traffic, and assuming it has traffic to give, it starts sending it down this segment. It's going to keep doing it as long as the stream's still running. So periodically, what it needs to do is it's going to do a query. And there's timers for that. And then the devices are going to hear the query. They're going to answer, but they have a random backoff timer. Only one of them needs to answer. So in the days of shared Ethernet, or certainly with wireless, the idea here is that, look, I hear somebody else's report back that they still want this traffic. Great. What we're going to do, I'm not going to send a reply back. I don't need to. It's already been done. Keep our processing load down. This is going to change later, and we're going to see that in a couple talks later. What they added in V2 was a leave. So with V1, the problem was, okay, you reported you wanted it, runs for that backup timer, or it runs for the query timer. Okay, then I do my queries. I gotta give some time for the devices to potentially answer, give it to expire, and then I'm going to stop flooding traffic into this network. Well, with a leave, I can now send a message that says, I'm done with this group. And so then what happens is that the router then does a query, because you remember I said with the queries, we suppress. Only one has to answer. So the router only really knows one device wants this traffic. And with a shared medium as well, the idea there is that if I want that group and it's already flowing to somebody else, well, it's right there. I can just start pushing it farther up my OSI stack and doing something with it rather than dropping it. So in this case, I go to leave. I send a leave to the router. The router then does a check-in. Is there anybody else who wants this traffic? If anybody answers, great, and they keep flooding it. If nobody does, I'm going to stop. There's no need for me to forward this traffic if no one wants the traffic. So that's IGMPv1 and v2. This is all about forming the groups. So forming them, leaving them. And we just described groups very early on as 0 or more routers, so or devices computed. So here we go. And this is it. This is the real basic on IGMP. Thanks for watching. There's a link to my channel, and feel free to suggest comments. So thank you much.